Welcome to another episode of Chelas con Chavos, Chavets, all that loyal fam. It's another episode. Excited to be back here once again with Miguel. I feel like there's a lot of things to talk about tonight, so I'm pretty excited for this episode. Obviously, it was rivalry week
Yeah.
with Phoenix falling. There's a lot of things for us to talk about. For concerning that match, a lot of news going on. We're almost down to the wire with the season. ST Loyal clinched a playoff spot. We just have to really focus on getting a home playoff match, and we'll get into that. We'll speak briefly on obviously what happened in San Antonio. Obviously, we lost. Just really your quick thought and my quick thought on that before we continue talking about what happened with Phoenix and just a lot of soccer news, right? Well, what happened with Wave at Snapdragon. There's all kinds of activities going on in San Diego. The night of the match against Phoenix, against Phoenix, we had Bad Bunny in town. There was a Triple G fight with Canelo. So there's a lot of things, a lot of sports things going on around town. But before I start, I want to apologize. I have a little bit of a lisp, because I had some dental work done. So if I feel like I'm in high school again. For some reason, I feel like I'm in high school again. So if I'm speaking a little bit odd, please forgive me. But what's up, Miguel? ¿Qué pasa, man?
Nothing, man. I'm happy, man. I'm very exhausted from this weekend. But other than that, man, I'm stoked that we got in the playoffs. Like I said, man, four games to go. You couldn't really ask for a better time, right? To be able to clinch. You want to clinch early, just be able to kind of get your dot your I's and your J's, and cross your T's, making sure your team's ready to go. But yeah, like I said, man, last weekend was super crazy. I mean, just not just for the loyal game, but there was so much other stuff going on, But I'm kind of ready for the excitement to to just kind of like calm down a little bit, and then just we can get it all together and pick it back up for the playoffs.
Yeah. So let's just get into this stuff, man. Well, first of all, with all the hot topics we got tonight, I got my Chela, Miguel got your Chela, and everyone else listening, cheers up, to playoff clinch. It looks like I'm gonna knock on wood here, but it looks like we're gonna end up having a home playoff match at Torero. Can't wait for that. But I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm going to because I'm pretty positive we're gonna at least get another point, if not another win, in the next couple matches.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of hard for us to drop 12 points, against all the way down to Mexico with 4 games to go. Yeah, I think we can safely say we clinched the playoff spot at home. But again, you never know. Knock on wood,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
yeah. Knock on wood. Let's definitely knock on wood because I know some Chandler supporters are probably gonna clip this part right here if we don't, and then they're gonna probably try to laugh at us about it.
All right.
um, but let's just start out with any particular Chavos news that you got.
Nah, man. Just so far everything's kind of been going on for us is that we're getting ready to kick off the. We've been in talks, especially on Discord, about getting ready to kick off the new turkey drive. There's a lot of good things going on right now. We have a lot of good momentum going towards it. Possibly some help from pretty big areas coming around. This has the potential to be, I mean, third annual. But it has the potential to be our biggest turkey drive ever. So, just keep an eye out for that, and really want to appreciate everybody who's been kind of reaching out to us and wanted to get some help out there. So yeah, totally ready for it.
There you go. And also, again, everybody, um, our episodes are pretty much sponsored by our watch party areas, right? So, Que Burros, I want to give a shout out to Que Burros. Just remember that is official supporters for ST Loyal hangout. So if anybody's in the area for the matches, go to Queburos. You want a burro with some bacon wrap? You want a burro with wet burrito? Go to Queburos, right? And if you're in East County, and again, Dino's Pub is the place to be. If you don't want to go to any South Bay or North County or Central areas, you're in East County, go to Dino's Pub. They will be showing all the ST Loyal matches.
Yeah,
So
and then brewing, make sure to for any pregame activities. They actually got a really nice. I think they actually got a new permanent kitchen guy there. So I mean, definitely go check it out. They got good food.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so let's get it going, man, because there's a lot of things to talk about tonight. Let's just do a quick little segment on your thoughts on the match in San Antonio. See what your thoughts there. I called for a tie. I believe, if I recall correctly, you called for a win, if I
I
recall.
did.
So
I give
let's.
him too much credit.
What did
I
you
give
think about that?
him
A few thoughts.
dude. Honestly, man, it's just I mean, it is San Antonio. That's kind of what I keep telling myself. I mean, they're first place for a reason. But
Yep.
with that said, these road games, they're gonna haunt us, man. I don't wanna take this on the road in the playoffs, and I don't want to be that team that can't finish on the road. Um, that that is after this past weekend, that concern kind of went down a little bit, but at the same time, it's just like, it's still there in the back of my mind, right? Like, I mean, we haven't won on the road since God, when was it? So let's see, we lost to San Antonio, we lost to Monterey. No,
We have three
we beat El
losses.
Paso. Yeah, we beat
Yeah.
El Paso, and that was 3-1. That was back in August 20th. So that was a month ago. So that was almost
Yep.
2 games ago that we lost on the road. But like I said, I mean, we got three out of the next 4 games are on the road. I mean, let's get at least let's get a 3-1 record. I mean, that would be amazing, right? Like, it'd be a good way to kind of get the monkey off our backs and then kind of give us good momentum going to the playoffs.
Yeah, we need that momentum for sure. And then it doesn't look like to me, folks, that we're gonna be able to reach San Antonio. So just kind of just throw that out the window. Let's just get healthy, play in form. Let's clinch this home playoff match. Let's get as many points as possible. Make it a record-breaking year for points for loyal. So I'm just really just want the team to kind of just focus on that. Not worry about first place. Just worry about every game that comes, right, and just win it.
Hmm.
If we end up in first place, because we technically can, but I mean, San Antonio doesn't have to lose every game they have coming up, which is probably not going to happen. So, but yeah, in my opinions on that match, man, I'm telling you, I think the weather has something to do with it. The refereeing isn't all that great neither. There's been a lot of matches these past few weeks or months that USL refereeing has come into question. Obviously, we're second division, so you're not gonna get the top, you know, creme of la creme, refereeing. These guys probably have daytime jobs or teachers or counselors or whatever. You know what I mean? And then they're probably working at Jack in the Box. Who knows? Nothing against Jack in the Box. I love it, the refereeing is questionable. But I think the weather has something to do with it. I think Lowell really didn't have much going on that game. But hey, we only lost one goal, right? To nil. So I mean, it wasn't like we got our butts kicked on it. So I think all things concerning what happened during that match, like injuries or whatnot, and then just like just the game just did not work out for us. But it could have been worse, I think. But I'm not leaving. After the afterthought on that match, I'm not exactly happy about it, but it could have been worse. And I'm just happy that going into Phoenix or what happened, against Phoenix and Torero, pretty much occurred. We got those 3 points, and we'll get into that shortly.
Yeah, and I think honestly, dude, the whole aspect. I mean, don't get me wrong, refereeing is very important. Good refereeing is very solid for a good game, right? Um, but it's getting to the point now where we know we kind of come to expect already what the USL
Yeah.
refs going to bring, right?
Yep.
Um, expect 2 or 3 bullshit calls throughout the whole game. But the thing about it is that the team has to learn how to capitalize on those opportunities that they have, and they gotta learn not to fuck up in the back. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's kind of one of those things. It's getting a little old for me to be able to just completely blame the refs over everything when you
Yep.
know a ref decision is only what, like 5 seconds into something. It might be something very critical, but at the same time, you still got another 90 plus minutes that you have to play. So I mean, just get
Yeah.
it done. Those other 90. Don't leave it up to the ref to dictate a game. Go out there and win the game. But so that's
Exactly.
all I have to say about that, and hopefully, that's all I have to say about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah. I mean, hopefully they learn that, and hopefully, like I said, we pick it up and we get a good momentum into the playoffs.
Exactly. Because any coach will tell you, if you played any type of sports your whole life, it's don't leave it up to the refs, right? Don't leave it up to the refs. The refs, you know, are not on your side, even though you might think they're on the other person's side. They got bought, they whatever. Their wife is from the same town of the team you're playing against, so whatever. Who knows? There's always conspiracy things about who's favoring who or whatnot. But don't ever leave it up to the refs. That's why you got to give it all, right? So
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, hey man. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into this Phoenix match, man. Like, man, there's all these kind of things that kind of different type of side topics I want to get into. But first of all, September 17th, San Diego Loyal against Phoenix Rising at Torero Stadium. Most anticipated match, right? One of the most anticipated matches of the year. Also across town in Mission Valley, SD Wave. They're doing the whole Pack the Snap promo. First match at Snapdragon. It was a success for them. They packed the house. There's all these things going on around town. There was a Bad Bunny was in town. There's a Canelo fight. So a lot of people were a little concerned about the attendance. What was it going to be at Torero? And I was a little bit concerned myself. Um, it looked a little light in the beginning. The locals and a lot of the supporters got in kind of late. Phoenix Rising supporters, I guess I don't know what they were doing, but they looked like they were probably waiting for. I wasn't like in the plaza area, or like so I don't know if everybody was like shaking hands and playing bingo or anything, but they arrived late too. So I was in the stand still. Us and a couple of Chavos were there. Or me and a couple of Chavos were there, and the Phoenix supporters that were coming in, we were being really hospitable with them, and everything was pretty cool. We're on top, section 109, just chit chatting. A couple of us Chavos, and then and then people kind of slowly started trickling in. But the crowd was really good. I was surprised just from all the events that was going on. There was a word that it was sold out. I'm not 100% positive on it because I didn't see anything on social media that it was sold out, but it was definitely a pretty packed house. I think people just started kind of trickling in kind of late, but it was definitely a great crowd. And then obviously having Phoenix Rising 60 plus supporters out did end up showing up. And then they showed up and they were pumping hard for the little numbers that they were. They were giving it all they could. But things started getting kind of hostile. During the match. We'll get into the match. I was there, so I was watching the match there in 109. But get into the match a little bit. I was pretty concerned about the first half, um, just how ST Loyal was playing. It looked like Phoenix was having more opportunities.
Yeah,
Koke was just doing an amazing job. Nothing really was too crazy going at him. He didn't do like a crazy block or anything, but he was at the right places at the right time when Phoenix players were going on the offensive and shooting towards goal in the first half. But it almost looked like Phoenix was just not going to let themselves lose this match. I got to give props to Kyle Adams. For the first half, I think he did an exceptional job. He was battling. He's getting the headers. He was tackling. I think he was the main person that stuck out to me. That pretty much him and Koke pretty much saved our butts a couple times in the first half. And from there, I think Landon started kind of mentally kind of thinking, what is he going to have to do to break the game down, break Phoenix down, and then eventually things ended up happening that way. It was getting really chippy. The refereeing, how we just talked about refereeing. Um, it was getting kind of ugly. In the as far as the refereeing goes, I felt like the referee was favoring Phoenix a lot in the beginning. I think he was trying to set a tone. I think to because I think the ref knew the rivalry, this whole rivalry thing. And hey guys, this is a freaking rivalry. After this matchup, anybody who calls it not a rivalry, you're tripping. You're smoking something else, because this is definitely a rivalry. These team, these players and the fans don't really like each other, and it definitely showed. But the referee, in my opinion, I think he was trying to have a control of the game, but he was out. But Phoenix was testing that line, that fine line, um, because there was a lot of plays that I think that the referee could have gave him out more yellows, or even possibly a earlier a red card to Phoenix. But he was kind of holding that, and I think a lot of the fans are getting frustrated and realizing that the referee was just not. It almost looked like the referee was starting to lose a little bit of control. If anything, we were getting the red, or I'm sorry, the yellow cards in the beginning of the first half. Kyle got one on the 21st minute. Jack Blake got one on the 27th minute, and Elijah got one in the 40th minute, and Phoenix Rising didn't get one until the 44th minute. So that kind of shows you the frustration of what was going on with Loyal in the first half. That Phoenix was just kind of running down our end of the pitch, and we weren't really able to control it. Um, and obviously what was going on in the stand, the Loyal supporters are getting angry. The Phoenix Rising supporters are starting to get more pumped and more feeling like they could potentially win this match. So they were bantering, they were talking their smack, they were chanting, and obviously everyone that was in 109, I give major kudos. We were being loud, the numbers. We know we had a pretty good crowd there, but there's other nights that could have been a little bit more busier, in my opinion. But I think we're a really good crowd, pretty solid. But everybody was really giving it their all, and everyone knew what was in at stake. But we'll get into the second half. But what did you think about the first half?
No, I think you hit the nail right on the head. There was a little bit of time there when I was like, yeah, we're not really playing too well. I mean, Phoenix looks like they're here to play. They really feel like they can, take away 3 points from this. And, like we said, I mean, they're not. Yeah, they may be a little dead last or like second to last, whatever. But at the same time, they're still a good team. They're still in playoff contention. Everybody in the West is still in playoff contention at this point. But I was definitely getting that whole vibe that the fans didn't feel like they were still in it and they can win this thing. Especially even the Phoenix team, and they went into halftime. I'm you know definitely glad that Landon was able to make the adjustments coming into the second half, but you could definitely tell going into halftime there was definitely a lot of tension in the air, especially in our section.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, they're the players. Obviously, you can tell that there is definitely some animosity between each other. But again, I think, and I have to say this, but everyone in 109 for the most part, and all the fans, all the loyal fans, were really hospitable. To Phoenix supporters. There wasn't really much social media, chant or banter or chatting that I was noting. Because usually, like last year, for example, they were, the Banditos were talking major smack last year. I wasn't noticing anything this year, and I was even surprised. I was like, man, though I'm surprised they're being kind of quiet. But when they showed up, they definitely weren't quiet. So there was definitely some people in their section that were expressing their dislike to either San Diego or Loyal. I'm not really sure which one it is, but yeah, the players can sense it. The 109 can sense it. The sections, 108, 109, and 110 can sense it, because there's 109 and we got 110, right? 110 is right next to where the away supporters are. So they were definitely hearing a lot of
Yeah,
the banter that they were trying to give towards 109. And then
yeah,
there's her certain hand gestures. Um, One particularly named after the bird, that I was seeing quite frequently. So it started getting kind of really tense, but getting into the second half now, Landon was definitely gonna have to make some changes, right? And the second half is when things really broke through. Evan Conway, we talked about him. He didn't play at the San Antonio match, correct?
I don't believe he did.
Um,
No,
yeah, I think he had a slight injury there, if I recall. But Evan Conway, I'm telling you, like we talked about it in the past, but he is my X factor this season. He has really shown, what type of player he is or what he can be. Oh man, I really hope he stays, on our team because I have a feeling someone's gonna pick him up because he's doing spectacular for me. Like I think he's a standout player for me. So he ends up scoring a goal in the 54th minute, assist by Toomey. Um, that was recall if it was a header, right on like the far corner. And definitely that's what we needed. It was a breather right there that we needed.
yeah,
That we like, it's a fans, a stadium that we just needed. Everyone was super excited. 109 went crazy. So obviously Phoenix was the game was gonna open up, right? Because Phoenix was not gonna want to um let another goal occur, right? Or let that kind of beat them and be like, all right, the game's over because we know what has happened with Phoenix in games in the past, right? They've came back, we've came back. These games with Phoenix are pretty crazy. And again, I want to say that when you have a certain it felt for me a little different this match because when you have a certain dislike to a team, when we're playing like Birmingham or something like that, like there's not really a dislike, it's like we want to win, right? But when you're playing a team like a rival like Phoenix, like you just give it your all. My voice went out. um it just every play is just more just tense, and you're more passionate about the call. But this match was just really extraordinarily, just exciting, for the supporters and
yeah,
for people watching. But
yeah.
just to
It's
finish off
like,
here, I want to get your
oh no, so
yeah.
go.
Now, I was just gonna finish off just a few stats. I want to get your opinion on stuff. But so Conway scored. The yellow card started coming in. For Phoenix, they ended up getting a red card in the 68th minute for foul and abusive language towards the referee. And hey, and I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? But he got red carded. The yellow card started flying in, and then the changes started coming. Andrew Carlton, and I want to see what your opinion on him is a little later. But he got subbed in for Colin Martin. And again, just San Diego started finding their way. Yellow cars started piling in for Phoenix. They got a couple more in the 77th minute. One of our new players, Jackson Kazanze, gets an assist from Jack Blake and ends up scoring. That's when Phoenix just said, "Hell nah, player." They got to make some changes. So they did about 4 changes. Uh, Landon obviously saw that, made 3 changes too. Camden Riley comes in for Blake. Jack Metcalf comes in for Conway. Thomas and Mann comes in for Kyle Vassell. Obviously, trying to get some fresh legs in there because he knew that Phoenix was going to try to go in and give it all, give it their all. Jackson Kazanze gets a yellow, after those changes. So just Andrew Carlton with the foul. Guido comes out. Let's talk about Guido too. Morgan Hathaway comes in, and then um, Phoenix with some more changes as well. And then the game ends up at 3-0. But Guido, and I want to get your opinion on a few things here. Guido ends up missing the penalty. He ended up missing one the week before, right? And I wanted to see what your thoughts on him taking that kick was.
You know what? It's I'm fine with it. I mean, he's definitely, if he's gonna be our PK guy, he's gonna be a PK guy. He's our 10. Um, it's like it's, I mean, the guy. It's Guido. It's not. It's like, maybe he just missed a couple. Maybe he's got something in his head going on. I'm I'm okay with him just keep being the PK taker. Um, it's really, it doesn't bother me much. I mean, we won the game pretty handily, and I think we for him, I think it's really more just kind of one of those things where he has to just kind of get that off his chest. Like he has to be able to just kind of like get that next PK. And so I mean, if he's gonna be that PK guy, then that's fine. I mean, I really don't mind him taking those extra chances. I mean, especially because if we were winning, so it's no big deal to me personally.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in 109 were really too happy that he was taking it. Obviously, I understand why he took it. That's something as a that's something you see a lot in in international tournaments. Like if Messi or Ronaldo kick a penalty and they miss it, they want that next one, right? They don't want to let that next one go away because they have to redeem themselves.
Yeah,
I'm not upset that Guido took it. Obviously upset that he didn't make it because of the keeper read him like read him like a book. He read him like an easy third grade book. He knew exactly where he was going. Guido was pretty stone cold when he was kicking it. Like he was just like he knew where he was gonna go. I don't know if the keeper was just eyeballing him and knew exactly where, like, he looked and was like, all right, I know where he's gonna go. But yeah, he saw him through.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so but
some goalies are just good like that, man. They just they could
yeah,
just read anybody from like. I mean, it doesn't matter like who it could be. I mean, just if unless you got somebody that with like complete ice in their veins and they can just redirect a kick in mid stride, then
yeah,
it's just not if if a keeper has it set in his head like I see him going there and I see the hesitation in his body, then yeah, he's gonna go for
yeah,
it. I mean,
yeah,
like I said, I think you got it right, man. It's just like he's just gonna want to keep taking those shots, keep taking those PKs, and just kind of get that monkey off his back.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
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 and,
and
and
people weren't
people
really
are really
upset too much about it because right after he missed that penalty, we scored. Jackson Kazanze scored, so
yeah,
it was quickly forgotten.
yeah,
Let's put
quick.
it that way.
Yeah,
Uh, but anyway, so around this time when all this red card, started coming in for Phoenix and all these yellows and stuff like that, it started getting really, really ugly with the players. Um, the Phoenix goalkeeper was talking smack actually to the supporters. In obviously the local supporters. So the you can just tell that there's dislike towards us, and but I want to give here credit to all the San Diego Loyal supporters because um who does Phoenix really have um where they go away on away days that they know they're gonna get heat, right? Well, they know that they're gonna go against somebody that doesn't freaking like them, that their supporters are gonna dislike them. They're not gonna go to Los Dos and experience that, right? They're not gonna really experience it too much. Orange County, Orange County has I want to say we have a bigger section or a bigger group or stadium attendance at these matches against Phoenix. But they do have a little bit of rivalry, obviously with New Mexico, but I think they're not really used to you know going to places where they have so much hatred, on them. So I think especially with us, what's been the history with us and them, I think they're kind of they kind of just kind of lashed out, and here they kind of lost their temper, just because they probably other frustrations probably came through, but I think I give props to the culture that we've brought, Chavos, locals, Rainbow Loyals, what we brought to 109
yeah,
because they know Phoenix when they go to Torero Stadium expect some heat, right? Expect some heat from the supporters. Expect the loyal players to play with that extra, passion because we're going to be at home. So I definitely wanted to give kudos to all the supporters on that because that's something that we've created here. I think it showed. It was showing in this match of all just like the all not only 109 in the supporters area, right? It's like the whole stadium was really getting involved in all these plays, but um, you can really tell that that this rivalry is going to be a long one in the future. It's going to be definitely one that's going to be you're going to have to circle on your calendar when these matches come around. But I wanted to get it on your opinion because I want to see your thought on this too. But what you think about the banter between the two clubs. But also, I'm not sure if you noticed, Miguel, that all these goals that were scored on our behalf, that all the loyal players were going and celebrating in front of the away supporters.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, honestly, it's that's kind of one of the weird. It's kind of one of the more unique situations that we have, especially in Toronto Stadium, is that our supporter section, our away supporter section, is right next to, where we are, right? So it's just like that's just the perfect that's that's just like the perfect storm for for shit to kind of happen. Um, so I mean, like I said, I mean it's I don't think I think if we actually played in a different stadium where the supporters were in a different location, we wouldn't really be seeing this much action going on, especially this much tension between the SGs. And like you said earlier, right? There was so much stuff going on around San Diego. I mean, you had the Bad Bunny concert, you had the SD Wave concert, and then I mean the SD Wave game, and then also you had the I don't know if you noticed, but while we were playing in there at the stadium, the women's volleyball for USD was actually playing
Right.
in the stadium too, or in their
Yes.
little arena. Um, so security was very, very minimal. I mean, I think when I was up in 109, the guy that was like the security guy that was right behind 109, I think he must have been like, I mean, poor guy must have been like in the 70s, dude. It's like I don't think I think he was just there to volunteer, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, man. But I felt really bad for him. But at the same time, too, you know, it kind of turned into one of those situations where we had to police ourselves. Like there was some members of Chavos leadership that kind of had to police ourselves and police our own SG, police our own section. Um, it's like, and the bandidos, I kind of lost a little bit of respect for them in a little sense because I thought they were it's okay, cool. I mean, you guys want to talk shit? Fine. We're gonna talk shit right back. Like it's no big
Of
deal,
course.
right? But what those guys were doing, they would purposely walk by, talk shit, start something, and then go tell somebody, like, "Hey, like, watch out for those guys." Like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't know. Like, is that what you guys do out in Phoenix, man? You guys just start shit and then you go talk to somebody and
Yeah.
kind of tattletale and shit or like narc. So that kind of pissed me off right there. And then at the same time too, like you said, we had to kind of police ourselves, right? Um, if it was outside the stadium, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be talking as much shit as they were. We
No.
had to make sure that our fans kept it within 109, and we had to kind of make sure that our fans, were respectful of the stadium, right? Making sure that they're not getting up on the rails, and they're not crossing over into 110 or taking that tension somewhere else. We have to make sure everybody was kind of a little bit more contained. Um, and I don't want that to anybody to think that that was us trying to calm or quiet everybody down because that's not the case. We're just trying to keep it all contained. We're trying to keep the peace because, like you said, I mean, there was so much stuff going on that we had to turn and we had to be our own police. And it was like I think it was really cool, like the SGs, especially like our guys and the locals, the ones that that were there. Everybody was talking a lot of crap. Everybody was like being really loud towards Phoenix, and I'm super proud of that. But I'm also very proud of the fact that they were able to, respect us enough to be able to kind of follow our not orders, but kind of follow our requests, right? Because I
Yes.
mean, especially as leadership, man, we don't want to be any of those people who kind of tell everybody to kind of just settle down, and but at the same time, we don't want to be, we have a responsibility to the club, and we have a responsibility to our groups that we have to be able to provide an environment that is safe for everybody in attendance. After that, outside of that, dude, like if those guys were to talk shit outside, like in the parking lot, I mean, that's on them, dude. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, we ain't gonna stop them. But like I said, it's like I'm glad, I'm glad we beat them the way we did. I'm glad our players celebrated the way they did. Um, I'll
Hmm.
give Phoenix credit for show. I'll give the Bandidos credit for showing up, even though they're like almost in second to last place. I'll give them credit for that. But other than that, like I'll give them the respect just as a soccer fan. But other than that, like they can just I don't know, they can just go back to Phoenix.
Yeah. Hope their drive was long and slow.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
know.
say go to hell, but I mean, it's Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? I think it needs to be said. That again. Everyone was hospitable in the beginning. When the,
Takes a
the
few
game
years.
started kind of going on, when it was still 0-0. There's a few Phoenix supporters that are walking by us and then kind of just bantering. just kind of just saying their stuff or whatever, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, like that's how you start stuff, right? That's
Yeah.
how you start issues. That's how you start problems. Like, walk on by, go to your supporters area, chant, do your, whatever, wave your flags and your scarves or whatever. But there's no need to be walking by us and starting
Yeah.
to start saying stuff, and
They're
people.
just hold me back instigators. Like, hold me
Yeah,
back.
and then there's people are gonna like that. There's
Yeah.
gonna be people who, not necessarily 109, but the people are gonna hear that in 110, 108. They're not gonna like that. Are gonna say something, and it's gonna cause an issue, right? So, but and then, there wasn't there was a couple of particular individuals that were really had some type of animosity towards San Diego, or again, us loyal supporters. But there's some pretty ugly fan behavior. Again, I think we were reactionary. It wasn't. I think everyone in 109 was behaving themselves until they saw that a lot of their supporters were just not being respectful, and then I think that's when I think some people, just started kind of just responding back to that. And then again, we had to, police ourselves, and that I think again, how you just said, we did a great job of doing that, with talking to, with locals and leadership, that was in 109. But I think everything ended up turning out well. But the main thing here is, what I want to say is that this rivalry is just going to grow and grow and grow, because there's definitely is no love lost. I think Phoenix left San Diego more bitter than probably ever. This is probably like I've been to every Phoenix game that's been that we've played at Torero. um, and let's see what happens when next year when Loyal has to go to Phoenix, because I definitely want to go. I want us to show numbers over there as well. Um, who knows what experience they're going to have? I don't think it's going to be kind, to tell you the truth, because I was hearing a lot of other multiple stories of the behavior of the Phoenix supporters when they're leaving the stadium as well. So I know they're definitely not going to like us being over there in Phoenix, or in Chandler rather, right? But I think this rivalry is pretty exciting. I think it's something different. Like I said earlier, every play, you just get more pumped. I was yelling my lungs out, man. Like in the plays that I was, like the referee plays that I wasn't liking, and every so was every single fan there. Like, when you play against a rival, things just get upped, right? And that's, you can totally tell uh, that the difference between playing Phoenix Rising at Torero than playing Hartford Athletic. You know what I mean? You definitely tell the difference of the ambiance of the crowd, how much more it means to us, just because we know what it means, obviously, to get the win, but also against a team that's has been causing us, or trying to give us heat in a lot of ways, right? But I think it was a great match. That we got 3 points. We basically clinched a playoff spot. I think the night went really well, considering all the things that were going on throughout the evening. And again, SD Wave, they had their event at Snapdragon. I think we had a pretty packed house, for considering the fact of all the events that was going on.
Yeah, we do.
So yeah, so our next home match is against New Mexico. And I want to really call this match a friendly type of how can I explain it? But we do have a pretty good relationship with the supporters groups from New Mexico. Definitely, we want to win. They're going to want to win. But I think that this is going to be a great match in regards to having a connection with a pretty strong supporters group in New Mexico, and ours as well. By having a good a good a friendly gathering of supporters groups from the Southwest, that are going to be obviously here at Torero. So I'm pretty excited for that match.
Yeah, I mean, it's New Mexico's gonna have a lot to play for, especially if things stay the way they are, they're gonna be right in the middle of a playoff race, just to be able to guarantee a spot for themselves. Um, I can tell you that right now, man. The Western Conference is not going to be settled until the last week.
Yeah,
For sure, we're not going to know who we're going to play until the very last week of the playoffs. Um, and New Mexico travels very well. They do travel. And they're going to want to come out here. I mean, especially to San Diego, right? Who doesn't want to come out to San Diego? I'm sure they have this like kind of circle in their calendars. But
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think New Mexico is they're going to have a lot to play for. They're definitely going to bring their away games, their away fans. But I can tell you this right now, man. I don't know. Depending on what we play next season, um, that I I just don't understand this 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 seating arrangement with the away fans. It it
yeah,
it, it boggles my mind. Like I have no idea why. I mean, I don't mind like I said, I don't mind having a beer or two with a few people like before the game. Like I said, we're not trying to exactly be like there's some people out there that are actually super freaking cool, like the people from the Black Diamonds and stuff like that. They're freaking amazing people. But at the same time, I mean, when it comes to game time, I mean, they're passionate about their team too. They're not going to sit there and just let us talk,
yeah,
sing our chants and talk shit and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen. So I definitely do agree with everybody when we say like, hey, this away supporters should have their own separate entrance and their own section far away from 109 because this is just it's just a recipe for a disaster in the future. And I'm hoping we don't play again. Um, I'm hoping it's a lesson learned for next season. If we still play in Torero, but I mean, if we play in Torero, you could tell it's going to be one more season of this. Um, but
yeah.
if we play in a different stadium, it might be a little bit different. You never know. We might not even see, Bandito people around, and we'll just see them on the streets, and then they're not going to talk shit on the street.
Yeah, and everyone who's familiar with the supporters area at Torero, and you're part of the supporters group, that Ricardo's been informed by many people that concern about moving the away section, but obviously they have their answer. That has something to do with the logistics of it and the pricing and whatnot. I still don't understand it. I still don't get it. Like even though I've been told that, um, because if you know how like Grant, Championship Park stadium, with OC soccer club plays in Orange County, it's kind of like I think it should be like that. It should be like the away support should be way on the far other end. Um, yeah, I think the general admission for the Orange County supporters group or benches and stuff like that, and that's how it should be. And then we have like the away section for Championship Park. It's seating. It's like pretty much it's actual seating, not benched, right? And that's how it would be at Torero too, because if we would move them on that far side, that far south, like southeast side, it's a small little area, and there is actually like like seating, right? It's not bench seating. I know those seating are more. It's more. They're more expensive priced, but I think they need to make that if we're gonna be playing at Torero again next year, that needs to be really, really handled, and not just for one game. Like it can't be like, oh, just because Phoenix is coming here, we're gonna move it over there. You know, I think it should be like away. The away section should be that way. Because think about it, Championship Park, almost every seat there is pretty much good. Like if you're worried about the pricing, oh well, that's kind of like upscale seating over there. Well, you know what? Let them have it. Let the away let's bring more away supporters here. Let them have nice seats. Let them have it. It's not like they're sitting in the 50-yard line. It's over
Yeah,
like on it's almost kind of the end of the goal line.
yeah. Honestly, I don't mind just keeping them like in that little section, kind of by the by the west entrance. Um, just
Yeah,
in that little section. Even I don't care if it's like you're right. I don't care if it's premium seating, whatever. It's away from us, and it's close to an exit, and it's close to the bathroom. They have their own bathrooms. They have their own freaking
yeah,
like beer stand. They have their own exit. They can just come in, get out, like no more talking shit, no problem, right?
yeah,
Um, so it was just kind of one of those things. It definitely gave me a little bit of anxiety, like not anxiety, just really more like fuck, man, like I have to stop drinking just to kind of make sure shit doesn't go crazy.
yeah.
You know?
And not only that, when we're scoring every goal.
Yeah,
fans of 110, 19, and 108, and across the whole
yeah,
stadium was, everyone who was close next to them was giving
yeah.
them heat. Well,
And
you don't want to,
I'm trying to cheer the goal, but at the same time keep our guys in our section. It's just like, yeah, it's freaking, but at the same time, man, like I said, I'm really appreciative that that our SGs and, the people in our SGs were very receptive to, to being kind of like not cattle, but like just kind of corralled into the section, right? I know it's not easy to
yeah.
hear for anybody to, for somebody to tell you like, hey, keep it back over here. It's not an easy thing to do, but at the same time, I'm very happy that people started, you know, people started listening and stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there was one thing where it was just something happened. It's like I guess I don't know something went into the field and somebody's asking
Oh,
where the hell did it come from, and I'm like I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. Like
well, I
I'm
think,
trying to
you know what?
I'm
What
trying to keep
happened?
my guys safe.
I didn't.
I have no idea. Somebody like came up to me and just kind of like started saying like who threw that? Who threw? I was like I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. Like
I did not see anything thrown on the pitch.
I don't know either, man. But all of a sudden, it's just like I got 5 people asking me questions, and I'm like, I'm just trying to keep my guys on this side of the stadium, man. Like you can go, like I don't care. You can yell at me all you want. You can raise your voice at me all you want. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Like
Yeah,
it was,
I seriously did not see anything thrown, but at some point, I heard
dude.
Nate Navarre was like, please refrain from throwing things on the pitch, and
Yeah,
I
and
was like, what the hell
I
is
was
he
like, I
talking
don't
about?
even like. I'm just, I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know. People, it's just like I said. It's just there was a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of commotion, and like I said, man, it's just I'm glad we were able to at least police ourselves. But at the same time, man, we gotta kind of keep our, we gotta keep our cool, so we make sure that we don't get fined and the club doesn't get fined and we don't get like
Oh
kicked
yeah,
out of the game. Like I mean,
yeah,
because the playoffs are coming. The last thing we want is to get kicked out of the playoffs.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, and again, again, this is a rivalry, folks. If you did not know that, and you were there at the game, I'm pretty sure you heard. And the cameras probably captured quite a few things too. Even the players, like, you didn't even need to watch the stands. The players themselves showed you how much of a rivalry this is, right? With all like the heated conversation, the pushing and shoving between the players, even after the game. Even
Yeah.
after the game, there was pushing and shoving
Yeah.
within the players. So I mean, these clubs, these players do not like each other. Um, and hey, I'm all with it. I really dislike. I'm not saying every fan, right? But I really dislike those fans on their side because, um, I've heard a lot of disrespectful stuff from them that's started from them.
Yeah.
I could be biased about it, but I haven't seen really much of us starting something on them.
Yeah.
And I've obviously heard a lot of things about Lowell supporters going to Chandler and experiencing a lot of bad behavior from their supporters as well.
You know
So
what, though, in Chandler, it might be a little bit easier because, like, we do have that separate section, right? They kinda do put us in a certain location.
yeah,
Um, in that one right there was just really more like that was a lot of, like, online bullying that was kinda going on. It's just like
yeah,
that's kinda what they're known for. They're all just freaking cyber warriors and cyber geeks and stuff like that. They just kinda
yeah,
the keyboard warriors, I mean, like, they just kinda sit behind a keyboard and just like I said, they just sit behind walls and like to talk. That's all it is. That's all I've learned from
yeah,
Phoenix supporters, man. Like, they won't
yeah,
talk
and
to anybody unless there's a group of them. It's just the way
yeah,
it is.
yeah, exactly. And to close it out, but I think that's just something that Ricardo's gonna have to be mindful of more. I'm pretty sure he knows now. I mean, he knew it before, but I'm pretty sure he knows now that there's gonna have to be some extra uh, security precautions when this match occurs again next year.
Yeah. I
So
mean, on the plus side, though, I mean, I did see, I like, my wife and I, we went out after the game. My wife wasn't at the game, but we went out after the game, and we did see, we saw Toomey out there, having a throwing back a beer or 2. And it's, like, good for him, his birthday was the day after that, and then,
yeah,
also, Jack Blake's birthday is today, so it's a week of I didn't realize September was such a heavy
yeah.
birthday month for a lot of people, man.
Hell yeah, yeah. So yeah, the super, and they deserve to celebrate. You
Yeah.
got a playoff clinch, could potentially have a home Torero match.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that.
Oh, totally,
Um,
man.
hey, so let's start getting moving on here from that Phoenix fiasco. Obviously we played Las Vegas. Las Vegas, guys. Las Vegas is kind of flying under the radar right now because they haven't really been doing too well. They've had three straight losses. They could still potentially get into the playoffs. Obviously, even Orange County can in their last place. Um, but yeah, Las Vegas, they got obviously pretty, a few pretty good players. Um, I'm expecting for us to win the game, but how many times have we said this against Oakland Roots and Monterey Bay, and Orange County and whatnot? So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be this weekend. Obviously tomorrow. I'm sorry, Saturday. And it's one of those games that I think we should be able to win. And if we win this game, we should be able to kind of ride and be able to solidify a home playoff match. We should be able to ride smooth. It's gonna make the games against New Mexico and Sacramento that we had the last game a little bit more chill, where you could probably play some of the bench players now, rest up, Guido and Conway and stuff like that. But I think Landon Donovan should be looking at his match and being like, if we're gonna win any of these next few matches, because we got Orange County that we have to play the week after. We got Las Vegas Lights, Orange County, and then Sacramento. But we're playing. I think who we're playing in between.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. There you go. Sorry. Yeah, New Mexico. So we get the 3 points against Las Vegas and clinch a home playoff match. I think those next few matches are going to be smooth sailing. We all can breathe easy as supporters of ST Loyal and kind of just enjoy the games, knowing that we're going to have a home playoff match. We can, enjoy having some fun times with New Mexico supporters. The last match, having the last away game at Sacramento. But yeah, what do you think on that?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. At the same time, too, I kind of want to play for position right now, man. I don't want to play away. Um, I want to play away as little as possible, which means nothing, right? I don't want to play away at all. I want to have all our games here in San Diego. Obviously, if we get second place, we have a very, very good chance to just kind of have home field throughout the playoffs, barring, San Antonio losing a game, right? Um, I do want to keep playing our best soccer, just because I want to be able to have a good position in the standings. But at the same time too, it keeps the team very fresh, right? You don't want to take it too easy, I feel. But so think about this, right? So New Mexico and Las Vegas, those guys are actually going to be playing for a playoff position by the time we get to see them. Um, Sacramento's going to be playing for a for a position on the table, right? They want to have a home field, and they want to have the home game as well. Um, but I want to keep pushing for that second place. To be honest, man, I want to have that second place because like I said, that means we'll have three, at a minimum three like home games that we could play, and then plus, say San Antonio does lose, that means we could have the Western Conference Final in San Diego if we do make it that far. So I mean, like I said, I don't want to put the horse, the carriage ahead of the horse, or however you say that phrase, but I definitely want San Diego to keep pushing for that second place finish. If that's my personal opinion. Um,
Yeah.
A, for selfish reasons, just so we can have better seeding in the playoffs, but B, and more importantly, is that they keep the momentum going into the playoffs so we can have a deep playoff run. That's kind of what I want to see out of the team the next 4 games.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, so earlier I was mentioning Andrew Carlton because I've seen him practice at Chula Vista. He has a lot of talent. Um, Not exactly the quickest guy, but he has a lot of technical talent. It hasn't really shown at all, really, when he's playing. But I think we lost Miguel here. Oh, there you
Oh
are.
no, no, I'm
Uh,
still here. Sorry, I have to turn off my camera for a
I
second.
think when I said Andrew Carlton, he said, "Oh, screw this, bleep."
Oh no,
I'm out of
yeah, I'm
this.
out of here, man. Screw this guy.
I don't want to talk about this fool. No,
I don't
no,
care how
but
good that shot was.
yeah, no, but he had an important play that resulted in a goal against Phoenix, right? He took it was like I think it was like a deflection. I think it was like a goalkeeper deflection, and he did like a rocket, and it hit like the crossbar, and then one of our players hit it in. But what
Yeah.
I wanted to say about him was that, that was like I was actually hoping, for that hit he took to go in. But that play was really important. But my point is right now is that he hasn't, in my opinion, he hasn't really done much at all. And I don't think he deserves to be back next season. I don't see why he would. I mean, I can see why Landon will want to re-sign him again. Uh, I can kind of go both ways. Like, hey, he's already here. He's already in the system. Maybe no one else wants him. And like maybe you can sign him on a cheap deal. And because like USL, it's almost like a year to year contract, right?
It is.
Only except for a few players. But my point is that if we clinch a home playoff match against Las Vegas on Saturday, um, I think Andrew Carlton needs to start, against Orange County, against New Mexico, against Sacramento, because he needs to prove to the supporters that he got signed for a reason. Because if he doesn't, if he stays on the bench and just comes on as a sub and kind of just does what he does and just kind of just stays under the radar, there's absolutely no way we're going to accept that he's going to be back here next season. But if he
Yeah.
starts these next few matches, if we do clinch against Las Vegas, home playoff, I want to see him start. I want to see really what he has, and if he doesn't have anything, I want him out.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't seen him be too much of a difference maker. He has been a good sub. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he comes in, he keeps the pace consistent. He had that it was a great shot, by the way. Like, I mean, I saw
Yeah,
that volley, and I was standing in the back of the 109, and I saw that volley, and I was like, holy crap, that's a really well hit like shot, right? Hit the post. I thought it was gonna go out, but thankfully, Vassell was there to kind of push it in, which was still very controversial because I guess they wanted to see if it was a foul or not, or a handball. But either way, I think you're right, man. I feel like it's I don't know if the juice was worth the squeeze. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah,
know if his production up until this point, any other player, I would have been like, yeah, you know what, whatever. He's doing his job. He's doing his job. No big deal. Totally cool. Um, but with the amount of turmoil that this guy came in with, and the amount of baggage that he kind of brought, not just to the club, but just to the supporters groups in general, to the amount of like not trouble, just really more like just the amount of the tension that he brought to the team. I don't know if it's worth the production that he's been putting forward, right? Uh,
right.
I mean, like I said, you said he's a player. He's a good player. He's not a great player. He's not a player that you're willing. I don't see it as a player that you're willing to kind of put your values on a like on a microscope for. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't know, man. It's just gonna be it's gonna be one of those things where it's got to be a good hard look, and they're gonna have to see how he feels. Does he feel like he's at home, or does he feel like not at home? But I mean, does he feel like he can change it around here? Um, what else is he able to do? What else is he capable to do? Outside of the club. I haven't seen him come out very much. I mean, he's been probably to
yeah,
a few rating events, nothing crazy, but I mean, I haven't really seen him out and about in the public eye, trying to make a difference or trying to, do any kind of charity work. Like, I mean, like, so what, man? Like, you caused all that fucking uproar, and then that's it. All we gonna do is just get subs out of you? Like, I don't
yeah,
know, man. I don't know if it
exactly.
was worth it. I don't know if it was worth it. Like I said, I mean, but I understand what Landon's saying, right? Like, everybody has their chance. Everybody gets a second chance. Blah blah blah. All for it. But I thought he was gonna be more of an impact player for the amount of of uh of of protection they were putting around him, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? And I mentioned it on social media, but when he comes on, like I see a brotherhood. What other word can I use? I see kind of like a gelling of a lot of like when Conway scores, like see how the players react to him. Um, when Toomey scores and Kyle. But when I see, I don't know, it might just be me. I don't know what it is, but when I see Andrew Carlton come on, he just kind of looks a little bit. He doesn't seem like he's really part of the team for some reason. Like I feel like he's obviously fighting for the crest and he's playing for other players, but I don't know, for some reason I just have a weird sensation like he doesn't really feel like he's fitting into the whole. Not I'm not saying his personality, but I just feel like he's not really fitting into our system. Um, but that just could be me. I really can't explain it more than that. But I just feel like I don't know. I just had this, it's weird because when I saw him live against Phoenix when he came on, he just kind of looked kind of just like on his own in essence. All the players are fighting for each other, and obviously he was fighting for the crest, but he obviously tried to score a goal. He did a very important play, um, which I was super happy for. Because I want every player to succeed. I want Loyal to succeed. I want every player to succeed. But I was just kind of like, I don't see why he's on our team. Um,
Yeah,
and
I can see what you're
you know,
saying, man. It's just, it really did feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the players get along really well with him. I'm sure he has like amazing
yeah,
teammates.
yeah,
I'm sure he's a great teammate, like himself too. Like I'm sure.
yeah,
I don't think I don't think he's not fitting in with the team. I think he's. I don't know, man. From my personal feelings, I think he's a good player. He does his job, but I just don't think that for the amount of trouble that happened or for the amount of shits that came with it, I don't think the work that he's putting in now was worth that. That's kind of one.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Yeah, so let's start closing out. So I want to see what your prediction is for Las Vegas.
I don't know, man. Las Vegas. Let's see. They have a minus 14 goal differential. Uh, I mean, I, they're
That's not
not
good.
really. It's not their home. They don't really have home field advantage a lot, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think I think San Diego still takes it 1-0, maybe two.
Yeah, I want to say 2-0, man.
Yeah,
And a couple. I haven't really heard too much news about this, but um, it's really unsure if Las Vegas will be in the USL Championship next year.
I don't know.
Um, it's not really clear what's going on there. I know they have, or they had, or have, or I don't know what's going on with the LAFC. I don't know what's going on there. I really don't care, to be honest, about LA Lights. I really don't like them too much. Like, not as far as like I don't like the supporters or anything, but I'm not really bothered, like like or even interested in anything at all from that club. I just obviously watch the games when Loyal plays them, but there's really nothing that interests me about that. But I haven't looked
When
too
you
much
have a
into
team that's
it.
not even part of that city, it's kind of weird, right?
What's that?
So when you have a team that doesn't even live in that city that they're playing for, it's kind of weird.
Right, yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. Like, they don't even train there, from my understanding is right.
Mm-mm.
And they haven't really built a strong connection, and their supporters are, they have a supporters group, but I'm not really seeing, what it could be there if they really, if they I don't know, I want to say they change their ways, but I want to see if they would really give it all, like in the stadium or the team, playing there and stuff like that. Because Las Vegas right now is blowing up with sports. You know,
Yeah,
there. I don't see why they really invest more. Instead of, I mean, I'm gonna say it now. Instead of they having to be a clown show at the Las Vegas lights with helicopters dropping money and having, freaking, I don't know what, go-go
water
dancers. I
balloon
don't know what
fight.
they have.
Yeah,
Make it actually a legitimate USL. It's Las Vegas, of course, but you know what? It's you have a legitimate supporters or soccer club or football club. And then and but I mean, I just really seen them as a clown show, to be honest. So I mean, I'm not really too interested. But who knows what's going to happen next year? But we have a lot of supporters for Loyal going to be going to Las Vegas. There's no buses going there, so everyone's kind of catching their flights or driving. So good luck to everybody who's gonna go. I do see us winning this match. Obviously, it ain't gonna be easy. None of these really matches are easy anymore because obviously we play down to our competition sometimes. They do have some pretty good players, but I do see us winning this. I do see us clinching a home playoff match after this match with lights.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we're right. Um, but
I
yeah,
I am
so
I am looking forward to seeing the new defensive look, right? I mean, you got like we're talking about Ebenezer, Ackon
yes,
coming
yes,
by, yeah, and then also Asanzu, that guy freaking played an awesome game,
yes,
in Las Vegas, man. Congratulations to him on his first start, for sure, man. But and then Kyle Adams in the back, dude, that guy's been freaking solid. Like I said, besides Koke Vega, besides Koke, I think, Kyle Adams is he's the guy in the back that's kinda leading the charge, man, and I
yeah,
think they've been doing pretty well. They did pretty well, this past weekend for sure, and
yeah.
I'm super pumped for it.
And just to mention, Kyle Adams won't be with the team because he's playing with New Zealand right now. There's an international break for
Oh, right.
international FIFA calendar, so he won't be with the team. I still see us winning the match, but then we got Ebenezer. You're right. So we got. I think Ebenezer, should be playing this match. Um, but I'm not sure if you recall, but I remember when Loyal was just beginning, he was one of the players that I remember that because I remember Loyal signed a few Ghanese players, and he was one of the ones that could not get a visa. There are some visa issues.
Yeah,
That's why he didn't join the. I mean, I think he was already in either play like practice or whatnot. I don't remember what it was, but he was somewhere uh, within our ranks. And then I believe there's even some jerseys that were made from his with his last name and stuff like that. So he was around, he was practicing. I think, but when it came time to actually solidify the roster spot, I think he couldn't get his visa. So it's good to have him. He kind of reminds me of a Yarrow type player. Uh, him and Jackson too. Some physicality in the back. That's what we need. So and he used to play for San Antonio. So he's familiar with USL, so I definitely want to see him playing.
yeah,
I'm hopefully he's playing against Las Vegas on Saturday, and we'll see what happens there.
yeah.
Um, but moving on, unless you want to mention anything about Las Vegas again, but moving on with Orange County before we finish off here is that there's going to be some buses going to Orange County.
Correct.
Right, the news came out today from the club that there's going to be two buses going to Orange County. From what I understand, $20 for a ticket. There's going to be a season ticket member bus and also supporters bus. So it looks like there's going to be two buses going up there, along with people are going to be driving up there. So Orange County, we've been talking about them for a couple weeks now. They have a year extension for playing at Championship Park area. Um,
Good.
I hear there's a lot of things coming out now that they weren't able to pay, or that they've been paying their rent late at the Championship Stadium. So that's one of the reasons why Irvine City Council was looking into the whole thing with Los Dos. Um, Hearing that, I can't really, I thought it was just a hardcore takeover of like LA Galaxy. Uh, that just really wanted just to take over that park. But hearing that they can't make the rent, it kind of just shows you that there's some issues, some financial issues going on with the club, and it's kind of odd too because they're champions, USO champions. So I'm pretty sure they got a financial and reward.
Yeah.
Um, but it's good to see that the Orange County supporters has been growing or has been coming out unifying to have them stay there, and maybe that'll help them build more of a base to where they're selling out every match. Like I'm hearing the match against Orange County with us, going there is sold out. I think that what the tickets the club got are probably the last ones. So if you're gonna be buying them, yeah, you might have to either sit at the Orange County supporters area, or if not, sit with the clubs, either the two buses going up there, which the tickets included.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely. I think it's gonna be good for anybody that wants to go up and check out an away game. And it might be one of those away games that's gonna be kind of just chill. It's like it's not gonna be too much. I mean, you never know, man. There could be like a ton of drinking, and but
Yeah.
it's gonna be definitely something that if you haven't been to an away game, that's a good one because it's super close. You go back, or hour 45 minutes, go there and come back, like no big deal. But yeah, no, you're right. They got those two buses going up, and then after that, like I say, we have Vegas, and then we have what is it?
Oh, we have Vegas, Orange County, New Mexico, and then Sacramento, right?
Sacramento. Yeah, so it's two pretty good away games coming up. It's very doable. I mean, maybe Sacramento might be pretty cool to do as well.
Yeah.
Make that drive up there on October 15th.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to go up there. I would love to go to Sacramento. I've always wanted to go up there, and I think
Mm,
with them being in the Open Cup final, and they have a pretty strong following up there too. So it'd be pretty cool going up there, and obviously the connection with Warren Smith. So I think it'll be really a cool
yeah,
away day. I know a lot of fans are planning on going up there too. A lot of supporters for Loyal are planning on going up there too. But yeah, I mean, exciting matches coming up with Las Vegas, Orange County. I'm really looking forward to going to the Orange County match. The days might be numbered of them playing there, but I really do like going up there. It's not a long drive. I think the park is beautiful. Parking is easy. Getting into the whole championship, whole park facility or area is really easy to get into. Um, you know, Going for restaurants around the area. Great time. I've always had a great time going up there. So, we'll see what happens there.
yep,
That game definitely is not going to be easy. So, but I think if we win against Las Vegas Lights, we can kind of just breathe easy against Orange County, and then they're gonna have a lot to play for, But we're gonna be kind of already like, all right, we already did what we have to do. Let's kind of play our bench players, and then just kind of just have fun playing, and then just see what happens.
yep. No, definitely.
So I'm not sure if you have anything else you wanted to speak of, but I think that's all for tonight's episode.
Yeah, I think that's it. Make sure everybody who's listening subscribe to us on Anchor FM, Spotify, Google, iTunes, Stitcher, Amazon, and YouTube. Wherever you listen to your podcast, and look forward to seeing you guys or talking to you guys like in a week from now, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Good luck to everybody going to Vegas. Obviously, people who are driving up to Orange County too. But yeah, let's go Loyal and let's get that home playoff match at Torero, and let's do this.
Yeah, man. All right,
Yeah,
dude.
all right, everybody. Have a great night, and thank you for listening. And until next time.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
All right, peace out.